$25 a month, you might as well fucking do it.
Why you don't hate the game? I never hate on no Peloton.
Hey.
I've heard people who do hate on Peloton.
I'm a big, like, it's all hit workouts. So, like, I feel like I'm working better than if I'm on a treadmill.
You know me, I'm a big do what works for you guy.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, huge do what works for you.
Welcome back to the All Day Everyday Show, everybody. How are we?
Last time we were down here, we had caps off on.
We had caps off on last time. Beautiful Thursday, June 15th. Post NBA Finals, post Stanley Cup Finals. Big show today. All day AJ, Manny, Ruffin. As always, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a like, a comment, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button down below. Apple Podcasts and Spotify for our audio listeners and our audio platforms. Give us those ratings. They do help us with those platforms.
I really fuck with you too if you listen to the audio, because I feel like that's like a different kind of like engagement and commitment. Like,
well, I was talking to somebody, and
if you're on Spotify or Apple right now, I fuck with you
100%. And I was talking to somebody, and I sent them the audio, and I was like, in case you can't watch. But I like when people watch, because I want them to see the professionalism that we have here with all this stuff. So I never thought he did, but then he starts like talking about some of the things that Caps Off said. Mm-hmm. When Matan was like, I used to be the producer, and he's like, yeah, I remember like the one guy said he used to be the producer. I'm like, oh shit, you were listening. Yeah. Okay.
I think the audio is a dope experience.
It is. I mean, everybody says now you can just pop in your AirPods and whatever, just listen to a podcast. Mm-hmm. All right, big podcast today, big show today. Plenty of stuff to go over. Oakland Athletics reverse boycott. We got, obviously, the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, the Vegas Golden Knights. Plenty to go on there. The U.S. Open has started today. I'm going to be ranking my top 3 U.S. Open courses of all time. Skip and Shannon are done. What does this mean for Skip? And the question that I will be asking Manny Ruffin later in the show, what did Shannon Sharp mean to Skip and Undisputed for these past 7 years? I do have to touch simply on Saquon Barkley getting that pre-franchise tag offer back on the table. See what that means for the New York Giants. But we're all going to start. With, should we start a tea party or want to start quarterbacks? Let's go to tea party first.
Oh, my God, bro. I mean, we just did fucking 8-9 shots in like 9 holes, bro.
Yeah. For everybody that watched that video,
fucking rough.
Thanks for watching. That was our first tea party of the season. We got a new GoPro. We're taking this golf content, super, super, super serious. Manny and I had like conversations.
I need to take my swing more serious, but yeah, we are taking the content.
Dude, we spoke like 2 weeks ago, and we were like, we gotta just go all in with this. So we're enjoying it. I think these challenges go a long, long way. It was a lot of fun, and I want to make note though, the video ends with me falling out of the cart.
Yes. And we can explain.
There's a hill on there, and I was just leaning all the way out, and I didn't have my hands because one was on one camera, one was on the other camera, and I was already leaning like basically out the cart. So then when we turned and drove up the hill, it was easy just for me to fly out.
Sharp turn, by the way. Turn.
I would have fallen, and I was telling everybody, they're like, oh, you were just too shit-faced.
Nah.
I would have fallen out of that cart sober. I needed to be grabbing on something, and I wasn't, so I just like kind of slipped out. Big thing, though, is we did finish the challenge. The video makes it seem like we didn't.
And we finished the round.
And we
we ate after.
Well, you finished the round. I was pretty much done.
Yeah, you did what you had to do. You did what you had to do.
But we did finish the round, and we finished the shots and the video, but when I fell out of the cart, this is the story. When I fell out of the cart, the camera like got out of focus. I actually thought it was broken, but great ball security, by the way. And I think we were just too drunk to fix it. And we were also too drunk to realize that we could have just used the GoPro as like our secondary camera. And so the second half, like our shots in on the 9th hole, which was our 8th hole, and our putts on the green, and then our full 9th hole, which was the 10th hole, was all out of focus. So we were like, fuck, like we just lost a hole and a half. How are we going to finish this? But then when we were going through the footage, we're like, dude, we have so much footage, we might as well just make a video. And it ended up being fucking really awesome. So plenty more to come. We're actually doing one right after the show today. So we're on our fucking high horses with this shit this summer. And it's going to be, again, this is season 3.
We could battle. I think we could battle some people on a fireball comp.
I'll
tell you something, fireball for me, at least I can do it.
That's your shit too.
I'll die. Like the next morning, I'll have no like awareness of what I did the night before. As you know, I left my club's wallet, half my well-being, damn my social security number and all that with you. But I did make it through. I think we could challenge Bob and them in a fireball comp. I don't know if the Chuskin and Phil were talking they could do it. I don't know if they can do it.
People are talking out their ass like they can do that challenge. I'm telling you.
Bob and them, I might have to watch out, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, that was a blast. Like I said, this is our 3rd season doing it, so it just goes to show. You continue to fucking put that content out and you figure out what works, trial and error, and what doesn't. And I think we fucking, at least in this video, we figured out what works. And especially helps to have a fucking GoPro, I'll tell you that.
Hopefully this time on the first tee I can do something.
We can get started, yeah. Okay, so let's go to our Netflix quarterback show. We're highlighting Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. I saw the trailer. Kirk Cousins.
I really think that's just dope because they're highlighting like elite quarterback, like the best quarterback possibly of all time. Sorry. And then they're going to highlight like a good quarterback because I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. It's not going to blow you off the radar. There's probably no clips of people. You know what I'm saying? Like the clips of the Patrick Mahomes clips and the Kirk Cousins clips is going to be a huge difference. Then they add Marcus Mariota in there, a guy who's pretty much playing and competing for his job at times. Like I think the way they're going to be able to intertwine between the players and how much different life is for Patrick fucking Mahomes than it is for Marcus Mariota than it is for Kirk Cousins, I think it's actually going to be really cool to watch. Plus, it looks Full Swing-esque, like in full.
I was just gonna say that.
And Full Swing's fucking fire. I really enjoy Full Swing. So I think it's gonna be actually a really good show. Like something we could like follow here week to week and like fucking let y'all know how we feel about quarterbacks. I wonder like how deep they go. The one scene in Full Swing where Brooks is talking to his wife and he just seems so fucking annoyed and just thinking about his golf swing.
Yeah.
I want to see Pat Mahomes with his wife.
People would go nuts over that.
I need to see a scene like that in that John, and I'll be satisfied.
Yeah, because Brooks was like, I just feel like all I'm doing is thinking about golf.
Yeah.
And then like they literally cut to like his model of a wife like talking about what she's gonna wear for some event.
Trying on clothes
and he's just like, the facial expression when you're zoned out. He's just zoned the fuck out, just staring like just into nothing. And they cut it so it looks like he's just thinking about his golf swing, like just focuses on. So I thought that was funny. So I'm excited to see that too. We don't really get to see that coverage besides Hard Knocks.
Yeah,
we don't get to see that coverage. Now we get to see more
they try
of
to be
outside.
Fair and shit and give everyone, which I like. But
now at these we can see the outside. Like the trailer literally has Kirk Cousins in his son's bedroom reading him a fucking book.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, this is good for that just to see the outside stuff. I don't even know when the start date is or when the first episode's released, but I think it's very soon.
Yeah, it should be.
But yeah, so super excited for that. Let's go to where did I want to go to now? Where do I want to go to now?
You're the fucking A's. He's about to come into town.
We'll go to US Open and then we'll do fuck that. Okay, Skip and Shannon. I want to go backtrack here. Skip and Shannon are no more. We saw, this was probably 2 weeks ago.
Sheesh.
We saw Shannon Sharp say that he was done. And most viewers really took that as when Skip had that whole nasty comment about Hall of Fame this, Hall of Fame that for Shannon. And that's kind of where people assume, including myself, when the downfall of Shannon and Skip and Shannon were done. So there was his last show. Both of them said great things to each other. Shannon really gave a lot of credit to Skip for his career and backing him for coming on the show, backing him for everything that he stood for and his work ethic and all the time and effort that goes into the research that they do and the topics that they talk about. Because a lot of it, like they're talking about LeBron James and the NBA. And again, fucking Shannon was a Hall of Fame tight end, so different for that. And he's saying, most people know me now as a TV personality than a football player, and I don't mind that because of the work that I've put in. And then Skip gives him that credit. Shannon gives both. It was great. But I think now, I honestly, I guess I just looked past how long they've been together, 7 fucking years.
A long time.
Number one, I don't know where Skip goes, but you've seen, I saw a clip of Stephen A. Smith talking about it too. He's talking about how Skip elevated his career when he thought it was going in the wrong path in terms of not like just success. Like he wasn't getting a lot of success early on. So I think it's crazy how when you look at that example and then you look at Shannon, Skip's just like just an elevator for his personalities. Now, again, or his co-host,
You could say that.
You could say that based on their 2 comments. But in terms of the stuff that he says, like there is, and Skip did highlight that. You know, we do have like the point of the show is big disagreements and like we may cross the line. Shannon was on the other side of the spectrum, which was like, there are lines, even though we're in this disagree show, there are lines and some we just don't cross. And I think that's where like the disagreement came. But 7 long years, I don't know where Skip goes from here. He's obviously got to find a new guy. There was reports like LaShawn McCoy might be on there.
Oh,
I don't know if I like that.
You know what's funny? Because I was talking to you on the phone where I was trying to think of guys who would be next. He was on my fucking list. I've been seeing him on Fox on the FS1 show.
On FS1.
And he's actually pretty funny. He's been getting some like viral clickbait clips.
Yeah, that's true.
And Skip like that shit.
I don't know if LaShawn would be ready for that, in my opinion.
I think he'd be ready for I don't know if he would fuck with Skip though.
But I mean, that's kind of what the show's relationship are.
About how I met LaShawn McCoy?
No.
Bro, real quick. I'm on Market Street, AT&T store. You know, if you know what I'm talking about, if you've been around there. I see this big motherfucker, white tee, icy chain on, jeans, some Fazos, like regular fit. But I can just tell this motherfucker, he's turning around. I'm from the back. This ain't no regular human being. He turns around like, oh my fucking God, it's LaShawn McCoy. Bro, people are just walking by him. Like, I'm mind blown that people are just walking by LaShawn McCoy on Market Street. I can understand if we were in like a Jersey or something. I was like, what the fuck? I walk up to him like, yo, Shady, what's up, bro? Like, it used to be one of my favorite players growing up, this, that, and the third. Like, I still talk about the snow game, this, that. And he's just like, I don't know, the same way he is on TV. He was like, yeah, I was fucking up out there that game, was not. Something like that real quick, and then hopped in his car and went away. And I was like, oh shit, like one of my homies said something to him real quick and then he hopped in his car and went away. And I was like, this is a cool motherfucker. Like, I fuck with Shady. He's just cool as shit.
Lit.
Hands were huge, big ass motherfucker.
See, that goes back to our point again, real fast. That goes back to our point about what you said from Mookie Betts.
Facts. I didn't even think about that shit.
People not recognizing.
I didn't even think about that shit. Bro, everyone was walking by him. And I couldn't think if it was because people were like, oh my God, it's LaShawn McCoy, I don't want to bother him. Or like, they just don't know who it is. Because that went through my head at first, low key. I was like, across the street, and I was like, do I cross the street to go say what's up to him? And I was like, fuck yeah, you go across the street to say what's up to LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
Bro. Fuck it. Like, I don't even care if you see
I'm the same way there. Sometimes I'm like, oh, fuck, do they want to be bothered? Do I go?
You just gotta be cool about it. Like, I was like, yo, Shady, like, one of my favorite players growing up. Like, we still talk about the snow game and shit. Like, you're a legend. Boom. And I just want to keep it pushing. He was like, I think they fuck with that more than like, yo, like, let me get a picture, bro. Picture. Like,
Right.
on the story. Like,
They just want a conversation.
Like,
They
what
know
the
that you're
fuck?
not like,
just
looking for clout.
I was thinking if it was a time to be like, yo, I got a podcast, hop on this. But I was like, I don't know if you're trying to hit with that.
Yeah, well, because he probably hears that all the time.
All the fucking time.
Okay, so back to Skip and Shannon. I don't know where Skip goes. We obviously just found out that possibility that LaShawn McCoy, I've only seen that name so far. But for Shannon Sharp, what does Shannon mean to Skip and especially the show having a Hall of Famer on the show for these past 7 years?
I mean, I think it just means a lot to Skip for real. All my respect to FS1 and Fox, but like, I don't really give a fuck about Fox. Skip, like, it when when Skip was no longer working with Stephen A, it's kind of like, okay, like, is he cooked? Like, what's about to happen here? Like, I think Shannon saved Skip as much as Skip helped Shannon. That's why I think no matter what happens between whatever they said on the TV show with lights and cameras, like maybe Shannon just thought like, okay, I can't work with you, but you're still a fucking goat of your own. You know what I mean? Dope human being. I'm sure Skip's cool as fuck to work with, but like that little shit where it's like, because when you start working with people for that long, you could tell they most likely agree on like most macro shit. If I can work with you for 7 years, our principles pretty much align. But then you get to like that point in like life and relationships, like the little shit, like don't come at my career like that, bro. Don't say I'm jealous of another man. Like they don't say shit like that. But I think I really wouldn't be surprised if they're still real close homies. I'm pretty sure Skip and Stephen A are probably still like pretty tight, like huge respect for each other, but I think they mean just as much for each other for different reasons. As like it helped Shannon become a big face, and now people see him as a personality more than as a football player, which is dope. But he was motherfucking goat out there as well. And Skip, like, I mean, I think it kind of saved him. I think people were, like you said, LaShawn McCoy, a name that went through my head that it won't happen, but I was thinking like JJ Redick or something, like go over there, and I don't think that would happen either. But like it is leaving room for someone to come in and sit in that chair and like get elevated, because I mean he's, I guess, proven to be able to do that before the past. I don't think he necessarily. I think it's a two-way street though, but it's a real good opportunity for anybody to hop in that chair, because you get there with Skip and right personality. You can see you go far. Shannon got his own show now. Like,
yeah, I mean, Skip said, you know, whatever comes next is like your best is yet to come, and obviously that's cliche, but for your point and like building him up and getting all this exposure on TV for these past 7 years, he's now ready for the next big step. I will say, I'm going to put this out there. Like, don't be surprised if he goes and sits next to Stephen A. Smith on First Take.
You think?
Like, I mean, I don't see, if you battled with Skip, you could battle with Stephen A. And that just gives more opportunities for the NFL season when Michael Irvin comes on.
I would like that, because I like how they bring on a bunch of different people for like different sports and shit, but I would just love it be another static, like Stephen A. and someone else. Like, I just like that dynamic more so than like it's just Stephen A. and then there's like a round table of like 18 people.
Yeah, that's because that's
like, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
yeah.
I like when it's 1-1 for Stephen A. and you know what you're getting, versus like Michael Irvin Mondays during the football year. And then now you have like Mad Dog on Wednesdays or Tuesdays, and all these different guys. JJ Redick comes on, Kendrick Perkins comes on. There's so many different guys that come in now. And I'm not really that interested in the show anymore as I was. I'll still watch it. But yeah, good stuff on Skip and Shannon. Very excited to see what happens to where Shannon goes in his career. But, you know, obviously not going to look past what this show was. Obviously, there's a lot of people out there that are going to miss this show.
Facts, I will.
Let's go to the U.S. Open. We have our 3 picks for the weekend, and I will be ranking my top 3 U.S. Open courses of all time. Okay, we are at L.A. Country Club, and for people that don't know,
how far were we from L.A. Country Club? Did we ever see that place?
I don't know. I don't. I think it's right of. I think it's in the middle of wherever I was reading. It said it was left of. Santa Monica, I think.
Oh, that's fire.
And then right of some other place, so it was in the middle of two cities. Mm-hmm. But crazy for golf to see the U.S. Open back in Los Angeles, back in California. Been over 100 years since we've seen this, so very cool. And for the layout of the course, just listening to what all these top players are saying. You know, Rahm said some things about it. Scheffler said some things about it. Rory said some things about it. JT said some things about it. A lot of the same things, which were, there's plenty of scoreable holes on this course. But on top of that, Rahm's quote was, you know, we're not going to be seeing a lot of driver wedges like we are used to or normally used to. There's a lot of longer par 4s. There's some longer par 5s. You have the 284 par 3.
That's crazy.
284-yard par 3.
What are they hitting? Hybrids? Has to be. Maybe 3.
Depending on if it's downhill or uphill or into wind, like,
it has to be.
Their 3-wood can easily get there. Like,
oh my God.
So, but that's just insane in itself. They're just talking about the layouts. It's going to play a little bit longer, and that's why I'm excited to see, you know, it's going to take more of our. We got to be better on our irons this week than our wedges, because most of the time the holes that you need to stay alive are just go for par and get those driver, maybe 8, 7, 6 iron maybe, and then, you know, a 2-putt 4. And then obviously you can't, you know, discredit. You guys have seen the videos of this rough. Like, there are videos where these guys are dropping the balls from their knees as if they're taking a drop. And they drop it from their knee, and the ball just vanishes in the rough. You can't see it. You have to directly stand over top of the ball to see where it is. So it's going to be, the greens are running fast as hell. They are rolling. It is going to be an unreal week, and this is going to be a challenging week, and I'm excited to see some of the best play at one of the toughest of the toughest. So that's going to be fun for me. But let's go for our top 3. What do you got?
So my guys who I think actually will win the U.S. Open. It's kind of chalky. Can't lie. I don't have the one long shot. What I do have for you is a name that is still looking for that big win, and I think it's Xander Schauffele this week.
You've been riding it.
I actually think it's Xander Schauffele this week because it's one of those courses where I need my guy to be controlled off the tee box, and I need a guy who's good, like notoriously just tee to green. When he's putting well, which I feel like he always is putting well, but I just see his stats like tee to green are just always way better than his putting. I talk to my golf experts about that, but from the little shit I look at, I think this is like a situation in a course that's really good for Xander. That's my number one guy. Number two, Chalkmeister, but I'm pretty sure it was second place or third place last year, but I think Scotty's just knocking on the door this one. I don't know if you've seen the stats for him recently, but he's been hitting the ball insanely and just can't putt. And I feel like this has been the story for Scotty for like since he won the Masters. I feel like he won the Masters, and I think I forget the tournament that came next, but I just feel like he like was always getting there and just couldn't really putt or just missing these easy putts, missing these 6-7 footers, and was just fucking himself last year. And I feel like you work on something like that so long, you can hit the ball so well like him, you stay locked in on it. One good weekend putting, like I don't know, he can run away with this tournament. And then third, just because this dude just seems to always win these two tournaments, I gotta have Brooks Koepka in there. Like PGA and US Open, like I heard he shot 62 in the practice round. Like I guess like
damn, did he?
Yeah, like I guess like going back-to-back majors is crazy, but he just seems to love these two majors, and I gotta put Brooksy in there. Like I gotta put Brooksy in there. Those are my three.
Yeah,
little chalky,
well,
but
you
those are my
were right about Scotty. He tied with Willie Z
for second,
but there was that playoff.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I got three here. I'm gonna start with I'm gonna go lower odds first, and then the higher. Again, it's not the highest I have is 4,500 for odds, but the first one can't not take Jon Rahm in this situation.
Good.
Okay, another major. I know it's tough to go like back-to-back majors.
Could be his year,
but winning the Masters.
Nah, winning back-to-back. That's what I'm saying. That's why I mind it.
Yeah, and like, but it is tough to go back-to-back, so I can understand the like not wanting to take the value at plus 900.
That's
but this is just a playable course for Jon Rahm.
it is.
So, and then I have to go with my GOAT. Just been my favorite player for many, many years now, Jordan Spieth. I want to see this guy successful again, in terms of like placing higher.
Bro, he was playing so well in the U.S. Open last year until he did that dumbass shit out the bunker, bro.
I literally just
and you were calling him last year.
Yeah, exactly. But I call him for a lot of my majors. And I'll always go back to the Travelers with him just because he's won that many times. I want to see him, I like a top 20 bet for him too. Like just something where we can see successful Spieth again, like the alliteration, and also like where he can just start getting some good checks again. That's really what it is. So plus 2,200 there for Spieth. I'll take it.
Good number.
And then lastly, Manny went with the live guy. I had a feeling he was going to go Brooks. And if I didn't take this one, I was going to go Brooks. But the value there was plus 1,100 for Brooks. Couldn't do it there. I will easily go here. If we need a good first round for this to be in play, we've seen that in a couple tournaments and other ones we haven't, where this guy just kind of falls off a cliff in the first round and then just doesn't make the cut. But if we have a good first round, this one has a lot of value and a lot of juice. Plus 4,500 Bryson DeChambeau. I think it's good value. And like I said, if we have a good first round, we're totally like in contention for this. But again, we've seen time after time. Remember when he made that ridiculous quote about Augusta saying it was like an easy course for his long ball, and he hasn't made a cut since he said that 3 years ago. So, like I said though, if we have a good first round, this will easily be in contention for a plus 4,500 cash. We're not the big guys that are going to give you those like Sam Burns at plus 7,000, those crazy.
I'll bet it though.
Yeah.
Two names I will give you for good value though, which almost makes no sense. I told you the one before we recorded, which was JT. JT's probably still like plus 4,800 right now, which is crazy for Justin Thomas, who just won the PGA Championship. And then two, I think you can get real good value for Collin Morikawa. I think he's north of plus 3K right now. And if we're talking guys who can hit their irons really well and are good tee to green, Collin Morikawa's one of those guys too. So him plus 3K is a good number. But JT at 50-1? What the fuck?
Dude, that's dumb.
He just won one last year.
I didn't even know that, to be honest.
He just won one. I'm pretty sure it's like 4,800 or 4,500. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
Did not know that that was his value. Well, everybody, enjoy your Father's Day weekend watching this insane U.S. Open at an absolutely tough, gorgeous course. Let's go to real quick here on the New York Giants. the New York Giants placed their pre-franchise tag offer back on the table. Now, what that was before, it was reaching up to $14 million. Don't know if that's going to be any different now, but I love what Saquon Barkley's been saying. He kind of took a shot at the Giants, saying that they were saying that he was being a little bit too greedy, which is, in my opinion, is false. He's not being greedy at all, and he even came out and said it directly. I'm not trying to break any records. I'm not trying to break the bank. I'm just trying to be compensated for what I've done for the team on and off the field. And I agree with that completely. Who else is fucking leading this team? Who? So I say pay him the money, and everyone's like, you see social media, you see some Giants fans, all this kind of stuff, and they're like, well, running backs they just don't last that long, and that's kind of too expensive for them. I'm like, if you're going to say that, then I would love for you to keep talking like that when the Giants don't have Saquon Barkley and you see how they perform without him. Love that.
Like, they're right, but, like, yeah, you do pay Saquon, but, like, they're right, though. Like, it's so painful. That's why, like, running backs are such, like, a tough thing to, like, judge and get attached to. I mean, look at who we won the Super Bowl with, fucking Jay on fucking minimum money and LeGarrette Blount.
But again, it also has to be tough for Saquon to watch his quarterback, who's now getting $40 million a year, when he hasn't even thrown for 15 passing touchdowns in a year.
Blows. I don't even know what I really don't know what the solution is. I really think you just pay Saquon and try to build the best possible team you can around him. And I think Daniel Jones is a quarterback to start that whole build around the running back of Saquon. But those people, like, with those criticisms of it's too expensive, like, dude, it is. Like, I hate to be like, it is, bro. And all it takes is, because, dude, it's like the fluke plays can come more often with the running backs, obviously, because the position. Like, there was a play last year when he stepped on someone's foot. I think it was against Dallas. He was running a dig across the middle or like a little crossing pattern and stepped on someone's foot and like rolled his ankle bad as fuck. And there that was. Like, God, like, but it's Saquon Barkley, so you have to pay him, but I can't say I disagree with people that are like tweaking about it. Because, like, fuck, bro. Like, but also, if you look at him, it's like, this motherfucker's built like Bo Jackson. Like, don't get hurt, bro. Like, I don't know.
I mean, the franchise tag was...
It is a lot of money, though, for running back. It is, bro.
Franchise tag was 10.1. Might have been 10.2. I believe it's 10.1. I'm trying to remember
who's the last team that, like, won that shit with an expensive running back. We go Chiefs, Rams. Jesus. Patriots are in there 6 times in the last recent memory. Seahawks, okay.
Maybe.
I mean, Marshawn Lynch.
With Marshawn?
I want to get Marshawn. Okay. Got to be missing a team, though, I feel like. Well, how they could go to running back and they won. Unless we're just not, bro. Rams lost with Todd Gurley, but he was hurt. James White, not really, but he snapped. Damn, I don't know, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Maybe TikTok can give us the one team that I'm missing, but I'm trying to think. Like, damn, Marshawn Lynch is the one that comes to mind. But, like, it can work. But history tells us, and the percentages is like, damn, you might as well save money on that position. It's tough, bro. But, like, because you know me, I'm player first.
Yeah.
Get your bag, Saquon.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like,
but it is
money,
like
bro.
Running backs are just in a tough position to negotiate. That's what I'll say. There's just such.
I'll just say, like, last thing on it, I'd say, like, from what he did last year, how does that not prove that he's capable of doing it? And everyone's sitting there, the same, critiques on that, or critics, why am I saying that?
He did slow down, though, after...
It's because he's injury prone.
He did slow down, though, because I remember there was, like, a stat, they were riding the fuck out of him the first, like, 8 weeks when you guys were, like, playing, like, extremely well, and then, like, whatever started slowing down. That could be on to 90 different things, but...
I don't believe Saquon Barkley as an injury-prone player.
I don't think so either.
I believe Saquon Barkley as a performer on and off the field and a leader that this fucking team needs. I don't understand it. Pay the fucking man.
All he really had.
Pay him.
That's all you really guys really have.
Like,
that's all you guys really have.
Well, I mean, we got to hope that Jalen Hyatt and these new draft picks for the receivers can work out. But other than that, I need that leader on my team if I'm a Giants fan. Okay, here we go. We are going to now head to the Oakland Athletics. There was a reverse boycott. Now, they did plan this before the season. We did talk about that on this show. There was nearly 28,000 fans at the Coliseum for the Oakland Athletics taking on the MLB's best Tampa Bay Rays. And they did win that game for their 7th in a row. Did lose last night, but that's okay. Unbelievable stuff from the Oakland Athletics. I think it sounded like a playoff atmosphere. I think those players deserve that. But also, if you're those players, you're like, yo, chill, chill, chill. We're trying to go to Vegas so we can have sellout crowds like the Vegas Golden Knights every single night. Now, mind you, last night it was empty again. I would love to see the number. But just for the comparison, on a Tuesday night, Oakland Athletics are looking at 8,000 fans on a Tuesday night, which is very, very low. For the Coliseum especially, it just looks worse. On their reverse boycott, like I said, it was right around 28,000, which is insane. And they won. They scored a go-ahead run in the bottom of the eighth. Unbelievable stuff. I was watching the game. I just wanted to see the fans. Now, this is going to be good for the Athletics, though. When they go to Vegas, they're going to have fans every single night. The attendance rate for the Golden Knights this season was 104%. So you're looking at a city like Vegas, these players will finally they will deserve their fans there. But let's also talk about the shirts. Selling hundreds of thousands of dollars of shirts that say sell on it. We're chanting sell the team at first pitch. These fans deserve better, and they are done. But hey, they're not going to have a team anymore. I'm just thinking, for the way that the Oakland Athletics are playing right now, are we watching a 2023 Moneyball movie? Did somebody call Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill to run this shit back with the Oakland Athletics? I don't know. That's what I think.
We just tweaked on not betting the narrative, bro.
We did.
So obvious, bro. It was just so obvious, bro. The last 7 games, bro. I didn't take one money line. Like, it's really sick. It will never happen again the rest of the year. There'll never be a run of this many games in a row where you'll get a plus 300 or a plus 256 cash. I'm going to chase it, and it's not going to come. And we had 7 in a row where we knew they were boycotting.
And 2 of them were against the Rays.
But we knew they were boycotting. Oh, yeah. We knew this was going on, and there was just no wagers. It's actually getting sickening at this point. The amount of narratives. And then you make a false narrative with Alexander Zverev or whatever the fuck his name was in the French Open.
Oh yeah, false narratives. Yeah,
bro,
I can't imagine
what narratives are real, what narratives aren't real.
I don't know.
We know the Moneyball narrative is real.
I know we are literally living
the Moneyball
narrative is real. They really almost swept the Rays. I can't even believe that.
Come in here, so they get Taiwan Walker. They get Taiwan Walker first. Like, they could come in here.
Yeah, because it's Phillies A's now.
We got Nola today. We had Wheeler yesterday. No, we had Ranger yesterday. So it was Ranger yesterday. Wheeler.
Solid.
It was Ranger yesterday. Nola today. They'll get Taiwan, and then like what? Like, do they get like a Strom day or like a Penn day? Like,
he was 2 nights ago.
No, he was 2 nights ago. So they probably get like a Wheeler day. And then what?
I mean, for the Phillies, we took care against the National League's best.
Hell yeah!
Like.
Hell yeah.
If the Phillies took care of the National League's best of the Arizona Diamondbacks,
remember who we're talking about here?
Should easily take care of the fucking Athletics.
It's the Phillies in June. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's true.
It's the Phillies in June.
That is true.
They pick and choose until it starts getting a little.
Well, it's not like them.
A little later, and they pick and choose.
And they got the Braves early next week, so this is kind of a good little stretch. That's in Atlanta as well. All right, last couple things of the show here.
Did y'all?
Go ahead.
Never mind. I wasn't Shaw. Right. Yeah, did y'all beat Verlander last night? Was that Shaw, or was that who?
Fucking. We lost.
Did ya?
Because I should say this. Jake Bauers, you fucking suck. I will tell you this right now. The New York Yankees have not needed Aaron Judge more than right now. And all of you guys are thinking, maybe it's the bats. Hell no. We need somebody in right field that can actually track a fly ball to the warning track and hit himself with the wall. I don't understand this. We see it once in the 5th inning, and then we see it once in extra innings in the 10th. We had Nimmo hit one deep, and then where are we doing? We're like looking over. We're playing back shoulder game, like we're looking for a 50-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes off the left shoulder, off the right shoulder. Can't figure it out, and then it literally is just to the left of you. This is Aaron Judge in the field that is much more important right now than the bats. Let's also not forget the 7, 8, and 9 hitters from the Yankees last night, and in these recent couple games are playing way out of their minds than your top guys, Anthony Rizzo, DJ LeMahieu. Mind you, he had the home run 2 nights ago. I don't care. Gleyber Torres, Anthony Volpe, who again got out of his shell, fixing the swing, chicken parm, Austin Wells. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm flabbergasted at this fucking lineup. And hey, at least they're somehow able to win games with a lineup that is this shitty with everybody out. This is just, I'm getting sick and tired of it. Aaron Judge needs to come back, not only for the bats, but more importantly, for fucking tracking balls down in right field. He knows how to play these balls in most of these stadiums. Not fucking Jake Bowers. Who? Come on. All right. I'm done with that. These guys just piss me off. I just don't like seeing Mets fans or Mets players happy. It's that simple.
It's tough.
All right, so 47 years later, the Denver Nuggets win the title. Pretty simple stuff. We obviously knew, everybody and their mothers knew that Nikola Jokic was going to be the Finals MVP. 28-16 in that clinching win. First player, this is per ESPN Stats and Information. Jokic is the first player to lead all players in points, rebounds, and assists in a single postseason. Pretty remarkable, and apparently he just doesn't give a shit. What did he say? What did he say? He got the MVP trophy, and he lost it? Let's see. What did he say? Well, first of all, he says, from Malika Andrews here, basketball is not the main thing in my life. It's something that I'm good at. Okay. Well, then we get into a conversation with Malika Andrews as well, again, and he says, she's asking about the trophy. Where the hell's the MVP trophy? I really don't know. I left it in Sparky's room, and it's not there anymore. So I don't know, but hopefully it can arrive in my house. Interesting.
I just don't buy that shit at all. I think it might be European culture too. I think they're just extremely humble, like on camera and when things first. As far as like, I think American culture, that we're cool with like being a little more like, show yourself, bro. You just won. Like, I don't give a fuck what you kind of say. I think in the European culture, it's like, yo, you gotta be more humble. Cause I feel like I got that same vibe from Giannis when he first won. Remember when he was kind of saying the same thing, which is cool with me. That's cool. What I don't, I at a point though, I feel like we're like going over the top and we're just capping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lost the Finals MVP trophy. Like, I just don't give a fuck. Or like, yeah, like basketball is just something I do. Like, it's something I'm good at. Like, it's just, at that point, it's just cap. It's cap, bro. It's cap. I'm sorry. There's no, like, we have to understand what we're talking about here. Because there's people that were like, oh yeah, we're talking about work-life balance. There's no balance when you're a professional basketball player. There was never balance in your life. You guys, what do you mean work-life balance? These motherfuckers been playing 300 games of basketball since they were 8 years old. What are you talking about balance, bro? It's been there. Like, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, like, this is just something like, no, basketball is actually your life, bro. Like, I understand where you're coming from because, like, you're trying to compartmentalize and, like, you have a wife and kids and a huge fucking family. Like, obviously you have to say it like that. But, like, dude, I feel like, I don't know. I saw someone say something to the effect of like, we like idolize our players that like spend their entire waking hours in their lives to their craft. And like, we expect everyone to be that way. And it's not like I expect them to be that way. I just know what it takes, bro. Like to be that good at basketball, like you're not just, he's not working out 2 hours a day and like sitting down, guys. Like y'all are fucking tweaking.
How about
like,
when he said,
look up his stats from when his first 3 years in the league and look at his stats the next 3. Like he's not just chilling. Like basketball is his, I promise you, basketball is his life, bro. Like the way he might have doing the Kobe like 5:30 a.m., 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. workout, but he's probably doing like a 6 a.m. and a 2 p.m. workout, guaranteed. Definitely in the gym. Like, cause Joel Embiid said the same shit when he was like, they were like, oh, like, you know, you and Jokic are neck and neck and you guys keep swapping favorites for the MVP race. And he said something to the effect of like, I don't really care how it goes, like something. I'm like, bro, please miss me with that shit, bro. I think that's cap. Like, I honestly think it, like, it's, I think where I'm coming from, like, it's okay to care, bro. Like, I think, you know what I'm saying? And people are like, oh, I don't care and there's more to life than this. Like, there is more to life than this. You're not going to play basketball past 40. So you have a long time to focus. Like the shit that you have in front of you right here is it's hugely important to you. You've been putting in more than 10,000 hours in this single craft. Like you don't have to pretend you don't care, bro. Like off the time you spent on it, I know it's a big deal, bro. Like I actually like it when people actually care. Not that you have to be like slamming doors and you win the finals, now you're fake crying on the ground. Nothing like that. But like take the finals last year when the Warriors won, and you could see like just as soon as they won and they're about to win, it how much it actually meant to Steph Curry. People were actually writing him off. People actually think he was actually like the GOAT of a point guard he actually is. And just that little second where he's just hugging the ball, bent over crying, goes over and just hugs his dad. Like, yeah, okay. It means a lot, bro. Like, it means a lot to everybody. I don't know. I prefer that shit than to watch Jokic like walk around and like not like have any expression and be like, yeah, I lost the NBA Finals MVP trophy. Like, I don't like that shit at all, bro. I think that's a little bit to the extreme. We can care. It's okay to care, bro. No one's gonna hate you for caring.
Let's not forget that Jokic signed a 5-year, $272 million contract, making, I think this year it's 54 annually. But I think this year, I don't think it goes into play. So I think it's like 30 million or 32 million, something like that. But you're lying if you're telling me that you're making that kind of money and you just don't care. Okay? That's my thing.
But he doesn't even exactly. I don't think he doesn't give a fuck about the money. Like,
maybe he doesn't care about the money.
No, it's so funny because it's like your point's right. Because it's like, bro, people are gonna be like, bro, like obviously doesn't care. He has all this money. But like, bro, I guarantee if you ask him, he actually says, I don't care about the money, which he probably shouldn't. It's literally basketball and his family. It's just that weird thing where we gotta like over the top like act like and prove we don't care, bro.
I respect it though.
It's all I respect the fuck out of that.
Family and basketball.
Yeah,
or
like,
family and whatever.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. And yes, there is more to life than basketball. And because I think there's a lot of things that are right about what he's saying, and I'm not trying to necessarily just completely attack Jokic because we've seen this with other players where it's like I thought it was cool when Myles Garrett had a bunch of hobbies besides football. What I didn't think was cool was when people were trying to say he didn't care about football because he had all these hobbies. Where it's like I feel like there's like kind of like a culture thing where people are like, it's like, oh, he doesn't care. Like other people trying to make it not cool that they don't care. Some people try to make it cool that they don't care. I think all these guys fucking care, bro. That's where I come from. Like, I think if you try to tell me you don't care, I think you really do. If you try to say this guy streams like Von Miller or Ben Simmons, they stream on the weekends or something, they don't care about basketball. I think those guys still care about basketball. Like, I think this whole like I don't care culture, it fucking pisses me off, bro. Especially when it comes to sports, because I ain't buying that shit, bro. That's all you have as a dude, bro. I feel like I ain't buying that. I don't care culture, bro. Don't care. I'm not buying it.
This was the most watched NBA playoffs in 5 years.
I ain't buying that shit either.
Averaging 5.47 million views.
Cap.
Really?
Cap, bro. Cap.
Okay, so then, all right, well, then let me ask you this then.
Cap.
What can you say as we kind of close this out and head over to NHL?
I highly doubt that a 1-8-4-1 Gentleman's Sweep was the highest viewed finals. Like, cap, bro. Like, can we just be real for a second? Can we be real? Can we actually be real?
I trust the number.
No!
I trust the number.
No, you don't.
I think a lot of it was,
No,
yep, you know what it was? A lot of it was the Knicks making a run.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. I forgot.
Okay.
Like, no
okay.
Like, no way.
Running it back. What can we say? What can you say as we close this out and the NBA Finals, the NBA playoffs, the entirety of the NBA season? What can you say about this run from the Miami Heat and the heart from Jimmy Butler?
Eric Spoelstra is like top 3 of all time, top 5 possibly. Like, he's going to end up between that top 3, top 5 range. What he's been doing with these guys the last like 3-4 years is criminal, bro. It's fucking criminal. But second off, Jimmy Butler, like, shout out. Fucking dog. Miss you so much. I do wonder what happened this series, though. Shell of himself. Was that Aaron Gordon? Because he played his ass off all playoffs, including on like only guys like LeBron James, KD. So AG was doing his thing. But there was reports, I don't know if you saw that, people were saying there was something going on with his dad and shit. And there's a lot of stuff going on. It saddens me if because of things outside of basketball, we got the worst of Jimmy in the finals. But fuck, man, Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra, like the run you guys have gone on in these last 3-4 years of the Heat is actually unbelievable, and we can do nothing but tip our caps. That's all I can say, bro. It's actually I see Duncan Robinson, Max Strus. I see fucking. My fault, Bam Adebayo.
He had a great game.
We had a great fucking playoffs. As much as I meme Bam Adebayo for ESPN saying that he was better than Joel Embiid a couple years ago, he's not. But he's literally probably outperformed Joel Embiid in the last 2 or 3 playoff runs. In total, like when we like consider like what you're supposed to be on paper and then what you end up doing in the games, like we're talking like handicap basketball. Like Bam's been better, bro. Like low key. Like so, I gotta tip my cap to him too. I can't even cap.
Yeah, I gotta give some credit there. Second 8 seed to make it all the way. So pretty cool to see. We'll head over to. Well, I want to say this real quick on Jimmy Butler. As much as it like looked from the box score of what his stats were early on, before he scored 13 of the last 13 Heat points, he was hovering around 8 points.
No. Okay, so the final game, he started fucking going off. That last pull was criminal.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That three was criminal. Because he finally started getting hot again. I'm like, all right, Jimmy, we need 2 here. This is a perfect Jimmy Butler. Yeah. Get into the lane floater. We only need 2. He pulls like a turnaround LeBron versus the Washington Wizards, like bank shot, try to pull that off 3. I'm like, Jimmy, what the fuck? But besides that, yeah, Jimmy was,
he was fine, but we have to give a lot of credit to Denver's defense that entire game.
AG.
They were locking Jimmy Butler the fuck up, and they realized that this is what the game plan is. If we shut down Jimmy Butler, we have to force the role players to play, and they weren't shooting. Yeah. So that's all I had to do. Easy money, easy game plan, and they got it done.
They were like 1 for 19 at a point in Game 5, the Nuggets, and still found a way to come back. And I mean, Jamal Murray seemed to be the only one to hit big shots when they need him. Also, really big shout out to Jamal Murray. Tore the fuck out of his knee. Got his dick exposed on the internet. Like went through a lot. I think him and her broke up.
He thought they were gonna be. He thought they were gonna pass on him.
He went through a lot of shit. So shout out Jamal Murray for this chip too, dog. Yeah. And shout out to MPJ. 3 back surgeries.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Couple good shout outs there. We haven't shown y'all enough.
Hey, and my biggest thing about
Bruce Brown's about to get a 2016 $100 million contract because he's a great role player.
My biggest thing is when we're
Colin
watching.
Gillespie got a chip.
Colin Gillespie got a chip. Yeah,
I
don't. I'm not even gonna go there.
What were you about to say?
I just want to how was he there? He didn't play a single game this year. Like he was hurt all year.
I think
how was he allowed to be on the bench? I don't understand that.
Because they probably still signed. They probably said it probably was like a year where you were going to make this team and get minutes if you didn't fuck up your leg or your knee, bro.
Yeah, because he played in 3 September games.
Yeah. It was like you were going to be. We know you were going to be a big part of this team. No offense.
I'm not coming at him. I was just confused. I'm like, wait, he didn't play a game all year. How's he allowed to be there for the finals?
They were like,
is that a wasted bench sheet?
I think they are. I think they had him set to the side. It was like, this guy's going to be with us, and he was going to play this year. Let's have him soak up this experience. Like, I think that's why. I think he was going to be a big role.
Hey, I hope to see it next year. I would have been awesome.
That's a big add to the mix too. I mean, fucking Christ.
So, great stuff. My biggest thing for NBA and NHL and those kind of finals, and especially in MLB as well, I like when, no matter who I'm rooting for, if the team can clinch that night and they are home, I want them to win. I want them to win in front of their home fans. 47 years, and we get to win in front of Denver. And the place goes nuts. Aaron Gordon's on the street. There was a shooting that night. Don't even want to get into that, but pretty cool stuff. I want to do this really, really fast because I did not do this. I didn't rank my fucking U.S. Open courses.
I peeped.
So I'm going to do it really fast. Completely forgot about it. The top 3 U.S. Open courses of all time, in my opinion, my personal opinion, is number 3, starting 3 to 1, is Marion. Okay? We live in PA.
Okay.
We live in PA.
I did not expect Marion to be in there.
So that's kind of maybe a little biased, but it's still an unreal course.
Have you played Marion?
1 time.
Wow.
But I didn't play the good course. Like I didn't play the course that they played. It was like the East course. I think it was the West course, and then the good one's the East course. We won't tell anybody that. All right. And then number 2, I wasn't here at this one. My dad was in there in 2009, and there's a flag over there that has it. Maybe I'll show it next time. Bethpage Black, easy money. Obviously, got to put New York on there and Unreal. I think that's a little controversial. I think people would put Bethpage Black a little bit lower. But I think everyone's going to be in agreement that this next course for number 1 is in your top 3 in no matter what order. And that is simply it's Oakmont. It can't not be. Another PA course. You got 2 PA courses on there and a New York course on there. So I think that's a fair top 3. Marion at 3, Bethpage Black at number 2, and Oakmont at number 3. Those are my top 3 U.S. Open courses.
Put some respect on Northeast golf.
Come on, baby. Come on. Fire us up.
I like that.
All right, and let's close out this gorgeous show on this Thursday, June 15th.
Can I ask you something, though, before I ask
go ahead.
about that? Why is it that it seems to be the second round of the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs seem to be the best round? Why is that?
I don't know though, because
I feel like last year the NHL final was mid. The NBA final was cool.
you could argue though,
NBA
like,
final was cool last year.
you could argue first round NHL was the best this year though.
No, the first round was.
I mean, you had the upset. You had Rangers Devils in that fucking rivalry.
Panthers.
You had Panthers upsetting number one. You had the Kraken upsetting the defending champs.
Yeah.
You had the Edmonton Oilers and the Kings, which was a slept-on
Battle.
fucking series.
Yeah.
The Stars made a deep run. There was some good series in that first round. I just think
like we haven't had like a crazy like I don't know, when was the last like crazy Stanley Cup final? Or am I tweaking? Like just please put me on.
I
like
mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that will be really like something that would put everybody on to NH. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. The fringe guys.
I mean, last year was pretty predictable. I think a lot of people thought that Tampa had a chance, but Colorado was going to win because of the fatigue from Tampa, and also Colorado was the better team. You can argue this is the same thing this year. Everybody probably wanted to see Florida because that's another 8 seed, another South Beach team like the Heat. You know, we had a chance to see both of them. But they just ran out of gas, dealing with a lot of injuries. Kachuk had that broken sternum. He's out, so he didn't play in this game.
Broken sternum is crazy.
You had Ekblad broke his foot in the Boston series, 2 dislocations to his shoulder. There's all these injuries are coming out now. And again, there was not obviously no excuse. We all know that. But Vegas was just simply the better team. And in recent years, we can say that about the Stanley Cup winners. But again, this is a team that won at home. Okay, we got back-to-back in NBA and NHL. We got to see 2 teams win their first championship in team history, in franchise history.
Fans look fucking bored by the time it was 9-3. They probably were celebrating like the second period.
They could have been louder. Thank God.
Nah. I mean, you got to think if we're up 9-3, I was celebrating the chip in the second period, bro. I was already drinking. Like, all right, the game's over now. Thank fucking God I can go park. The boards.
Florida was nice about it. They let them have their own. Like they let them have the puck in their own zone for the last 25 seconds. But like I don't remember like how we gotta be focused in on this when teams are going to win the Stanley Cup. Like, how early do they jump off the boards and start celebrating? Like, this was at like 10 or 12 seconds. So they're already jumping around. The horn hasn't even sounded yet. But I did like this made the arena a lot louder. That final horn went on like 4 straight times, which was lit. That was pretty cool. But will this go down? My question is like, will this go down as the Vegas Golden Knights? Will they go down as one of the greatest expansion teams ever? Like,
unbelievable.
This is unbelievable. And let's talk about the owner.
Meanwhile, as the fucking Flyers are in rebuild purgatory.
Yeah, exactly. But let's talk about the owner. Bill Foley says 6 years ago, playoffs in 3, Stanley Cup in 6. And goddamn, boy, oh boy, was he right about that. This is a team, Keith Jones said on the broadcast, this is a team that gave up a lot of draft picks and a lot of assets to get where they are. Dealing for Jack Eichel this year. Unbelievable. Mark Stone playing out of his mind. Okay? Can we just talk about that for a second? First hat trick in a clinching game in 100 years. Everyone's talking about, this wasn't that great of a finals. This wasn't that great of a playoffs. I disagree. But statistically, it technically was.
You actually think this final was like good to watch? You're tweaking.
But hold on. You have a narrative. You have a narrative.
I literally watched every game, put bread on it. Like I was.
You have a narrative.
I actually I don't know. This final was mid, bro.
Your narrative is that you have another South Beach team playing in the NBA too. So you would think that those Florida fans, those Miami Heat fans, would be going for the Florida Panthers.
I just felt like those games were just so over like this. Bro.
The overtime game in Game 3 was lit though. That was fun to watch.
That was a good game.
But again, this goes back to the point that Vegas was just the better team.
Yeah, like it was just like, damn, like
Bob Annett was just not that guy down the stretch of these playoffs. Okay,
that break hurt him, bro. I think that sweep and sitting
simple.
down. You have a hot goaltender after the sweep. He had to sit down for probably like a week and a half.
That's what it was. But statistically, we're looking at this. Game 5 from Front Office Sports. Game 5 of Golden Knights Panthers averaged 2.72 million viewers across TNT and True TV, which is the least watched Stanley Cup clinching game in 30 years. That's just disappointing for hockey fans. We got to do better. Nothing is better than watching Lord Stanley hoisted. So what the fuck are we doing?
Bro, like that shit was just mid, bro. Like I think people were really trying to tune in. There was the narrative. We had Florida, we had Vic. Like I was trying to get locked into this series, and it felt like almost every single game was like, all right, first period, we're cool. Like Vegas might score first. Like, all right, Florida might tie it. Florida's gonna take a dumb penalty here. Can't keep their hands to themselves. 2-1. They get like a 4-on-4. Florida gets another penalty. 4-on-3. 3-1. It's like, bro, what the fuck am I watching, bro? Like, it's like every single game it felt like that. Like, I don't know. We need a better final next year. We need like a McDavid versus like, you know what I'm saying? We need one of them Johns next year.
Well,
Game 7.
I'll tell you what.
Like, we need like one of them.
I got my coach, Peter Laviolette.
Also, I was going to say, do we just put people on 6-year contracts now? Is it 6-year contracts? Vegas did it, and he promised it in 6 years. Do we just put coaches, GMs on 6-year contracts?
I'll put GMs. I'll put GMs on that.
Yeah, coaches you can't.
I won't put coaches on that because you've seen it in, well, at least in Laviolette's.
I mean, he's about to be back with the Flyers, jokingly, but
but like you see in his tenures with his teams, Hurricanes, he won with the Hurricanes. Then you move on with the Flyers for a while. They only gave him like 20 or so games before he got fired in that season that he got let go. And then he goes to Nashville and just outkicks his coverage there. And then it's going to the narrative for Philly fans where it's like every time we let go of somebody, they're just better with somebody else. And he was better with them. Then we go to Washington. My thing with Peter Laviolette is in years 1 to 3, there has to be a big change and something successful within the team. Do we make a deep playoff run? Do we get to the Stanley Cup and lose? Do we get to the Stanley Cup and win? Something big like that in those first 3 years. Because after 3 years, it's just how it works with him. He just declines, and then he's fired. And what was the contract deal? How many years? 3 fucking years. So in years 1 and 2, I don't know who's coming back this year. Kane's out for 4 to 6 months with this surgery. Do they retain Tarasenko? Who the fuck knows? But I'm expecting another deep run from last year, going to the ECF again, and possibly making it actually to the Cup for the first time since 2014. We will see.
$11 million players gotta show up.
Yeah, well, everybody has to fucking show up at that point. We were way too premature on fucking firing Gerard Gallant, but that's not. We're not talking about that. That's our show today, ladies and gentlemen. If you have watched on YouTube, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And our audio platforms, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, do not forget to give us those ratings. Our social media platforms, we're posting a lot of TikTok content on there, a lot of Tea Party content going on there. Social media, Twitter is at 80ED Podcast. Our Instagram is at 80ED Pod. And our TikTok is simply just the name of the show, the All Day Everyday Show. What a show! We're gonna go shoot a tea party. Can't wait to show you. You've been listening to the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and the homie Manny Ruffin. We will see you when we see you. Tea party's going crazy. Make sure to watch those videos. We're having a fucking blast. See you guys in a bit.